Here we have the hydraulic auto bleed down valve. This is an old one that we'll take apart to demonstrate how to disassemble it. We got a 1 1/4 inch wrench here and a 7/8. That's 1 1/4 there. Break that free. And a 1 inch wrench on the outlet. Take these things apart. Then we have our extraction tool here. And we push it in from the back side where the dust seal is, and push the poppet and seal assembly out the other side. And get it freed up and it comes right out. So we have this out now. We'll be putting new in. I just want to clean this body up real well and look down inside the inner bore for any big scrapes or nicks that may be making our high pressure seal or O-ring fail early. And this is our hydraulic portion of the valve. And the way we know if these seals need to be replaced is we'll get some oil coming out of this weep hole. On the high pressure side of it also has a weep hole. So if we get water coming out this hole that's closest to the threads, it means that our seal is leaking. If we get water coming out the other end there, it just means that this poppet landing seats in there either has a bad seating surface or it's not tight enough. So we'll set this stuff aside. We're going to get on the assembly here of the hydraulic auto bleed down. We start off with the hydraulic portion of the valve, and we will get the piston and the O-rings for the piston. One of them is flat and is cupped on one side for the O-ring to sit in there. So with the piston facing like this on the table with the groove down, we want the cupped part of the O-ring looking up at us. So we'll get some hydraulic oil on there. Slide it down over the piston. And we want to make sure that the cup is looking up at us still after we roll it on there. And hydraulic oil on the O-ring. And slide it in. It's going to go into the barrel like so. So the oil will be coming from this side. So we need to make sure that the backup ring is over here. So next we have the piston insert, and this is a harder steel so that when the poppet rides on it, it doesn't wear out as quickly. I want to put some Parker lube on there, and that's going to hold it in for us while we're assembling. And then also I like to just get some Parker lube and wipe on this whole piston here, on the O-rings and everything. And we slide it in with the insert going down away from us. Let's push it in with our thumb. Next we have these adapter fittings. And we'll lube the O-rings on those. And screw them into the hydraulic housing. And we want to tighten these down with a wrench as well. 1 1/4. And then the other 1 1/4. Next, we'll go to the high pressure side of our bleed down valve. This is the high pressure housing here. And we want to start by getting our seal and buttress installed. And to do that, we use a installation tool, and we put the buttress in first. And once this is all inside here, we want the buttress to be backed up to the hoop ring like so. And the buttress has a flat side and a chamfered side. Flat side always needs to go to the hoop ring. So when we put it on our installation tool, the flat side needs to be facing the handle. And I like to put some Parker lube on this. If you're in a food grade application, it's important to use food grade lube rather than the Parker lube. And we put it in from the female threaded end. And we just go all the way in like so. Take our tool out. And next we need some Parker lube or food grade lube on our high pressure O-ring. And then we install it onto our high pressure seal. So we'll put our high pressure seal onto our installation tool with the O-ring facing the handle. Next we put a little bit of food grade lube or Parker lube on here. Either one is okay on the bleed down valve. And next we'll put our hoop ring on here, and we need to look and see the inside is tapered, and that fits down over the seal. So it's important to get that on correctly. If we put it on backwards, we can tell that it doesn't fit down over the seal properly. So taper facing the seal, and it sits down on like so. Then we put it into the high pressure housing. And then it too goes into the barrel of the high pressure housing. And just push it in here. And that dropped in. And we always want to look through this high pressure inlet hole and make sure that we see the tool moving there and that we cannot see any high pressure seal. If we can see the high pressure seal there, it's not in far enough. And if we try and run it that way, it will leak immediately. Next step here, we need to blue goop the flat side of this poppet landing. And I like to blue goop this inner taper on the outlet body, and then put the poppet landing in and smear that blue goop around. And then it's just exactly where it needs to be. I should back up one step here and put the poppet in before I forget. And some Parker lube on the shaft. And we, with our fingers, get it started into the hole on the high pressure seal. And it's started there. And we have this plastic push piece here that comes inside your toolkit, or rebuild kit, excuse me. And we just push it down the rest of the way. And we should see our poppet is about flush with our dust seal on the other end. So back to our outlet body here. Need to blue goop the threads. And we put the outlet landing into the body with the taper side looking out towards us. And then the outlet body. And then we tighten this down. Next, high pressure collar block here. And we want the mounting holes to normally face the outlet body here. Let that fall down. And we want to blue goop these threads where we meet up with the hydraulic housing. Turn these together. And then we snug it down. Then we put the catcher back on. Let's re-blue goop our threads if needed on this gland net. And we tighten that down. And then we have an Allen head little set screw here to set the collar where we need it to be. And that is the bleed down. It's ready to go back on the machine.